In the start of the movie, we see a man named Forrest Gump sitting on a bench next to a bus stop. His appearance and his dirty shoes show how much of an imbecile he is. We also see a woman sits next to him while waiting for the bus. She goes ahead to read a magazine, then Forrest offers her some chocolates while also trying to tell her about his shoe. She ignores him at first but later gets interested in his story. Forrest begins his story from 1956, then a flashback shows Forrest fitted with leg braces to correct his bent spine. The doctor tells his mother about him having a strong leg, but a back as crooked as a politician. While his mother is helping him walk down the street, one of Forrest's braces gets stuck in a footpath drainage. Some people starts making fun of him, then his mother helps him. She tries to make Forrest understand that he shouldn't let anyone make fun of him or make him feel inferior. We also see that Forrest and his mom live alone in a big house. Since most rooms are not being used, they rent it out to travelers who spends days and nights there. While Forrest is of a really low IQ, his mom wants him to have the best education. She takes him to the best public school in their city, but after looking at Forrest's IQ level, the principal refuses to admit him to the school. After agreeing to do his bidding, he eventually agrees to admit the boy in the school. On his first day of school, the school bus picks him up, but no kids would let him sit next to them. A sweet beautiful girl Jenny offers him a seat next to her. From then on, they become best of friends. Every day they sit together and share everything about their day. Jenny teaches Forrest how to climb a tree, and also helps him learn how to read. They spend the whole day together, but for some reason, Jenny never wanted to go home. Due to Forrest's retarded nature, he's often bullied by kids in his class. One day while running away from the bullies, his leg braces break off, revealing his outstanding ability to be a very fast runner. From then on Forrest moved everywhere by running. He notices Jenny's absence from school one day, so he goes to visit her. When he gets there, Jenny holds him and runs away into the farm. We realize that Jenny is constantly being molested by her father, so the police comes and take her away to her grandmother's place. Some nights, Jenny would go over to Forrest's house just because she was scared. Eventually, they both grew up to become best friends. Due to Forrest's exceptional running skills, he receives a football scholarship at the University of Alabama in 1963. The lady sitting next to Forrest leaves, then and he continues telling his story to another stranger. One day after college, he goes over to meet Jenny at her college, but outside the hostel he finds Jenny in a car kissing another guy. Forrest thinks that the boy is hurting Jenny, so he runs towards the car and starts hitting the boy, but he gets angry and drives away. Jenny then takes Forrest into her dorm room, and then he spends the night there. Besides all that, Forrest becomes a top kick returner and is named an All-American team. Then he gets to meet President John F. Kennedy at the White House where he enjoys an elaborate feast. After a few years, Forrest graduates from college due to his outstanding football skills and his mother is really happy about this. He is given the opportunity to join the U.S. Army, so he decides to enlist in the recruitment. He faces the exact same rejection by his fellow soldiers, but luckily he meets a soldier named Bubba who offers him a seat next to him. He asks Forrest whether he's ever been on a shrimp catching boat, but he says no. Bubba's family was in the shrimp business, and this is the reason for Bubba's extreme obsession with shrimps. He eventually convinces Forrest to pursue a shrimping business with him after their service in the army. Forrest performs exceptionally well during the basic training and is praised by his sergeant and other superiors. One day, Forrest spots a picture of Jenny in an adult magazine, so he goes over to look for her in her singing show. When he gets there, he's amazed by her amazing talent of singing, but he discovers she's been treated badly by some men. He goes over to rescue her, but she refuses his love and asks him to leave her alone. Forrest informs her that he's being sent to Vietnam and that he will write to her always. She bids him farewell, and then she tells him to run whenever he is in danger. Afterwards, Forrest is sent to Vietnam where he serves in the Mekong Delta region under Lieutenant Dan Taylor. Lieutenant Dan is a very experienced soldier and Forrest and Bubba learn a lot from him during routine operations. The soldiers undergo vigorous missions and tolerate all kinds of weather, but at night, Forrest writes letters to Jenny. During one of the missions Forrest and his soldiers are horribly ambushed. Many of the soldiers are severely wounded. Due to his excellent running ability, Forrest manages to run away from the attack. He notices Bubba missing so he goes back to find him, but he sees and helps other soldiers who have been badly wounded, and he's also shot in the buttocks. When he goes back to find Bubba, he discovers that he has already been shot. He carries him away from danger, but Bubba is unable to make it. During his stay in the hospital, Forrest learns how to ping pong and it came very naturally to him. He becomes so obsessed with ping pong that he even plays it with himself. Lieutenant Dan on the other hand, loses both his legs and is angry at Forrest because he didn't let him die during the mission. However, Forrest earns a Medal of Honor for his bravery. On returning home, He's awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor by the president. Later, we see Forrest giving a speech on a podium. Then he is called out by Jenny from the crowd. When they reunite, he learns that during all this time, Jenny has become an anti-war activist and a drug addict. Forrest sees her being hit by her boyfriend, so he saves her once again and gets him heavily bruised. The next morning Jenny leaves for San Francisco and Forrest gives her his Medal of Honor. Afterwards, Forrest becomes a sports celebrity due to his amazing ping pong playing capability. Soon after, he meets Lieutenant Dan, who has become an alcoholic and is frustrated about his disability. He's also annoyed by the fact that someone like Forrest is awarded the Medal of Honor. Forrest ends up spending his holidays with Lieutenant Dan, so they eventually become friends. Months later, Forrest and the national ping pong team are invited to the White House to meet the president. Soon after, his service in the United States Army is over and he's discharged. He returns home and is told by his mother promotes a ping pong paddle brand in order to earn money. He goes to meet Bubba's family, and then to Bubba's grave. He tells Bubba he wants to fulfill the promise of the shrimp business by using his earnings to buy a shrimping boat. He names his boat Jenny, because he misses her tremendously and prays for her happiness. Afterwards, Lieutenant Dan joins Forrest on a shrimping boat, but they have no success in shrimping. Soon, a hurricane hits the ocean and only Forrest's boat manages to survive the storm. This helps Forrest and Dan easily gather huge amounts of shrimp every day, so they finally create the Bubblegum Shrimp Company and buy 12 other boats to expand their business. Later at the ship, Forrest is informed about his mother's illness, so he returns home as quickly as he can. He takes care of her before she dies of cancer. Later on, Forrest gets a job as a gardener, so he stops working with Lieutenant Dan. However, since the shrimping business was thriving, Lieutenant Dan invested all his shares in a company. This makes Forrest a millionaire, so he gives half of the earnings to Bubba's family. After years of separation, Jenny finally returns to visit Forrest. They once again become close to each other. Jenny gives him the best shoes of all time, so he proposes to marry her at first, but she refuses. One night, she tells him that she loves him and the two make love, but she goes away the next morning. This makes Forrest heartbroken, so he decides to run for no particular reason. He runs for days and even months, then people starts joining him because of his consistency. After 3 years, Forrest eventually decides to stop running and go back home. Forrest receives a letter from Jenny, asking him to come visit her. Forrest then tells a woman his reason for waiting for the bus at the bus stop. After looking at the address, the lady tells him that he does not need a bus to get there, so Forrest runs to go meet Jenny. He finally reunites with her and discovers that she has a 3-year-old son named Forrest. Jenny tells him that the kid is his child, so this makes him very emotional. Soon, Jenny tells him that she is sick, and then she asks Forrest to marry her. Forrest agrees, and then they move back to his home and gets married there. Afterwards, Jenny passes away from cancer, so Forrest is left with the responsibility of taking care of his son. The movie ends with Forrest seeing his son off to his first day of school. If you like the story, please subscribe to help the channel out.